Hello there, my name's Michael Maynard and welcome back. Now what we're going to do today is review this gorgeous looking Avis lock. This is a thing called an Avis 83 WP63. I have got a pair here, so I bought a pair key to like because I like these locks, and I would spend my own money on using a pair of these locks to lock up stuff that I wanted to stay secure. There are a couple of caveats with that, and we'll get into that in a minute, but by and large, executive summary, I like these things. I think they're good. So let's have a look at this lock. Now, the first thing you notice about it is that it is massive. So here is the standard Avis 83 45. The 45 stands for 45 mils wide, although almost always Avis locks measure out slightly larger than what they say they're going to be. So the 45, if you put a pair of calipers on that, you end up with about 46 and a little bit. If you put a pair of calipers on the 63, then you come out with 64 and a little bit. I don't know why Avis do that, but they just do. So you notice that it's massive. You also notice that the shackle is enormously thick. Now, here again is the pretty standard Avis one, just over 8 mils, 8.1. You have a look at the shackle on this thing, and 11 and a bit. Nominally, that's 11.1 mils in the data sheet. So that is a big, solid lock. And I have to say, the body is really heavy as well. So they say that this is a steel body. They say that it has got a coating on there. They call it nano protect, but it's just a coating to help stop the thing oxidizing. So hopefully it's not going to rust on you. And they call it extreme because it is designed to be outdoors in all elements. Now I have to say, I believe them. It is this plastic shrouding here is weather protection, so it's not designed to keep burglars out, this plastic thing. It is designed to keep the body of the lock and the internals of the lock secure and out of the weather. There is a little cover that snaps over the keyway. You have to kind of flick that out, and it's got a nice positive seal to it. I really do think that this shrouding is going to keep the elements out. So this is a lock that is designed to be outside all its working life in a tough environment. So they're looking at marine applications here. So they're thinking of, for example, shipping containers that are left out in marine environments where there's salt and water and all kinds of stuff all over the place. And they reckon it's going to last well in those environments. And you know what? I think that they are right. I think Avis have done a really good job of sealing this against the elements. Now, next thing, what's it like against sealing against burglars? Well, in actual fact, in its current configuration as it came from the factory, it isn't that good, and these are the things that I think we need to change on it. Now, you'll all be familiar with the Avis 83 core. So this little core here is interchangeable. You can take out not only the whole core itself, but you can change the keyways. So Avis supply as standard a whole lot of different keyways. Now, it just so happens that these two that I have here, like I said, they're key to like, and they are keyed to the standard Lockwood keyway. Now, you know, you guys know what I think about the Lockwood keyway. It's a mistake. It is a big wide open keyway, as you'll see later on when we come to pick it. It takes a 6-pin key, and you know, the bitting on that is kind of okay, I guess. There is a lot of spring tension on the core. There is no spring on the shackle whatsoever, so it locks and unlocks pretty easily. It is currently configured as not being key retaining, so you can do that very easily. There's just a little part that needs to be interchanged inside the lock, but as it stands at the moment, non-key retaining, 6 pins, reasonably easy bitting, and a big wide open keyway. Now, I have to say, I think that that is a mistake, and What I'd like to do is show you this lock to show you why I reckon it's a mistake. This is an Avis padlock that has been pinned up by the locksmith down the road from me as a challenge lock for me. Now, I have had this for 3 or 4 months, this lock, and I can't get into this. Now, I don't have the key, so he every time I go in he waves the key at me, but he won't let me see it. So I don't know what the bitting is on this, but I can tell you now it's reasonably tricky. There are mostly standard pins in this thing, and the keyway is an old Master Locksmiths of Australia security keyway that is long since out of patent, so this isn't a current security keyway. But you just look at that thing. That keyway there makes my life difficult, and that's why I haven't been able to pick this thing yet. Now, for the extra addition of maybe $5 or $10 when these things were getting put together, we could have had a decent security keyway put in these things and have it broached so that it really would be difficult to pick, and that's the major modification I'm going to make to these things. Once we have got these things picked and I've reviewed them and done what I'm going to do, I will have a decent set of keyways put in there, we'll have some security pins put in there, and we'll have some decent bitting, something a little bit harder than that, and away we'll go. So that is what I think of the locks so far. Inherently very, very good padlocks. I like them. I think they are excellent. What we're going to do now is pick them and have a look at the internals. I will only pick one of them because they're keyed exactly the same. There's no point in picking both, and we'll see where we go from there. So back in a second, guys. Okay, gents, let's see if we can get into this thing. Top of the keyway tension, it's a nice wide keyway, so I've got a Sparrow short hook and 25 thousandths. 3 was graunching on me. Yeah, I don't know if I'd call that a binder though. But it's the best I got under the circumstances. Okay, we're going to use slightly more tension here. 1 nothing, 2 nothing, 3, yeah, 3 is definitely binding. I think we just set 3, let's come back out to the front. 1 is binding now. I think we just got 1 set as well. 2's binding, and we just got to click on 2. So I think we've got 1, 2 and 3. Yeah, nothing else at the back of the lock is binding though, so I'm not entirely convinced about that. We're just going to give those front 3 pins a rake and then go back and check them. Four is now binding. Moved 4 and it's just stopped. It's interesting, these pins don't really give a lot of feedback when they set, and you're not entirely sure whether you've set them or not. Feels like we've got 1, 2, 3 and 4 set. And I think we're having trouble getting up under 4 to 5 and 6. So I'm just going to use a Peterson number 7 just to get down the back there and see what's going on. It is actually feeling set down the back as well, so I'm thinking all we're going to need now is a bit of a rake to settle those, and we should be in. Okay, check them. Betcha just something needs a nudge. Let's try the same trick again. 2, 3, and there we go. It was 4 that needed it. That was a little bit of a mission, but we're there and we're open. Now, let's disassemble the thing. I've got a battery light flashing on my camera here, which is a wee bit of a worry, so we're going to do this as quickly as we reasonably can. And 6 standard. All right, gentlemen, well, there you have it. The Avis 83 WP 63, an excellent lock for your money, but you're buying the body. You're not really buying this standard horrible core, and you're not really buying this standard pinning either. What I'm going to be doing, and what I recommend you guys do too, is spend the extra 20 bucks with the locksmith, get him to put in some security pinning, get him to put some decent key bitting together, and get him to put a decent security keyway in there, something more akin to this than that. But otherwise, it's a bloody good lock. Avis, I reckon you've done well. Thanks for watching, guys. My name's Michael Maynard.